So these aren't the usual type of videos you'd get from me. So I'm talking a bit, probably won't be as entertaining as usual, but please, please, please watch the end of this video and listen to it. It's for a very, very extremely good cause. So basically, obviously it's from Mercy's Fight. As you'll see below, I've put a link to her donation page. Obviously, just to make the situation a bit more clear for you and people who don't understand what it is, this young little girl has a brain tumour. Unfortunately, well, obviously it's already bad enough, but where it gets even more difficult is treatment for this type of rare tumour is very, very rare. There isn't a good success rate or anything like that. And one of the, unfortunately, the NHS don't really have treatment options. So her parents are forced to go abroad to get treatment options. Currently, there is no cure, but there is trials and tests and stuff out there, which is the only way we'll ever find a cure, is for people like her to get access to these types of things. So not only by doing a donation are you potentially saving Mercy's life and helping Mercy, you're also helping other children and other people in general get longer with their parents and their families. So it's a very, very good cause and very, very important. I think any type of donation would be loved by most people. It doesn't matter if it's a, if you can afford £100, you can afford £3.50. You know, don't have that Starbucks this week. You know, something small like that you could donate to. If a lot of people did that, and enough people did that, obviously it would give this kid a fighting chance, which I'm sure she deserves. A lot of the stuff, unfortunately, where it affects her is being able to walk, small things that your kids and kids in general take for granted, and we as humans take for granted, struggling to walk, breathing. Obviously she's in pain and stuff like that, and the treatment for this, you know, she has to get certain tablets and that, and the link below explains it in much better detail than I can do. But like getting the tablets and stuff like that costs thousands and thousands of pounds, because obviously with it being rare and not an everyday occurrence, the places like the NHS don't support these things. So unfortunately what happens is they have to go abroad, and obviously big companies make money off unfortunate little girls like her. And I want you to envision this, you know, what if this was your kid? You know, it's easy to turn the channel and ignore things, most people do, but imagine if you were in her shoes. You know, you can't get out of this, your situation, you're there having to watch your daughter, you know, suffer, go through pain, and you're trying to scrap and get by so you can get the treatment that she needs. That is very, very hard. I think for anyone, no one would want to be in that situation. I don't think it's fair that this little girl is going through this. Imagine being her, you know, small things like being able to go to the park, small things like being able to go out with her friends, small things like being able to run up and hug and cuddle her mum and dad, having to go to bed because she's tired. These are only the small stuff. You know, you don't want me to go into the pain stuff and stuff that most of us couldn't imagine that this girl is going through. Despite this, as you'll see from the photos I attach at the end, you know, you still see her smiling, doing her best to fight. I think it's very, very important. I've donated myself numerous times. I've never met this girl. She actually has no idea who I am. The way I found out about her was actually from friends doing a wrestling show, and they were doing the event for her. And unfortunately, I couldn't attend the show, but I checked out the Facebook and I checked everything out, and it really, really touched me emotionally. And it's not about being, what's the word? It's not about publicity or doing anything like that. It's literally a good cause, and I think it's something that we could all do. You know, the minute we stop helping people and stop doing things like this, then, you know, what do we get out of life in general? Everyone goes through hardships. You know, this girl has had no luck. She's had the worst luck possible. You know, no one deserves what she's going through, and we can all do that little bit to help her get this treatment. And like I said, you know, obviously we don't know how it's going to turn out. You know, none of us can tell the future. None of us can say what's going to happen and what's not going to happen. But what we can do is, if, let's say, a best scenario started here, this is going to help other children. You're not just helping one life, you're helping multiple lives. And come on, you know, at the end of the day, she didn't ask for this. You know, it's a fucking awful situation. I think we could all do a bit to help her. Like I said, I've never met her, like you've never met her. I don't know her parents, I don't know anyone involved, but I followed the story, and I can only imagine how hard that must be. I think she deserves a chance to survive and fight for this. So I would like to request that people check out the link below. Even if you can't donate, you know, if you're in that benefit, that's fair. Share it to other people, make other people aware. Maybe other people do small donations, and the more small donations we get, the better chance this girl has. So so please check it out. You know, I've attached some pictures. You can see, you know, you still see the kid smiling despite all the awful things she's going through. She's still trying her best, so I think she deserves a chance. Sorry, that's not one of the most pleasant videos I do, but it was a very important one, I thought. And I hope it reaches out to some people out there to try and help this kid.